The top 8 teams, in my opinion, will rate that against what was handed down by the committee last week, the top 8, and I will give you my 1 through 8s and just a brief synopsis of why you should feel good about your team if you're a fan and what should worry you. But before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a like. All right, so the committee last week before the end of the season came out with their 1 through 8, which is UCLA 1, Texas 2, USC 3, Notre Dame 4, South Carolina dropped to 5 and are a number 2 seed, then UConn 6, LSU 7, and NC State 8. Now from the home office in Canberra, Australia, I give you Back to Sports top 8. So number 1 is Texas. If you win the SEC, yes, you lost the coin toss, but you won or co-SEC champions, you were going to be a top seed in my book. That's why you were 1. You grinded out. You've got a star player in Madison Booker. Apologies, Madison Booker. I think in my preseason list I had you at number 10, which was ridiculous. I think I earlier apologized for that. But Texas is just that grinded out team that will play defense and wear you out on the defensive end as well. They'll throw the ball inside and pound you that way. In addition, they just wear teams out on the boards. They're like that fullback. And that's almost a concern for them. You know, that tough fullback, if you need 1 yard, you know that fullback will give you 2 yards. But at the same time, if you need 3 yards, then the fullback will only give you 2 yards. And that's my concern with Texas. They really don't shoot three-pointers very much. If they get down, what's their ability to come back in a one-off game? That's my only concern about Texas, but they have toughness in spades. Number 2 is South Carolina. Yes, I know others have dropped them, like the committee, to a number 2 seed. Not Back to Sports. If you tie for the SEC title, then you are a 1 seed in my book. You're co-champion. So you and Texas are 1-2 on the Back to Sport list. And a lot of this is resume. You scheduled tough games. You won the majority of them. Here's your reward. You're one of the best teams in the country. Am I as confident in you after Watkins went down? No. Do I think you can be taken on your day? Yes, but you did recover well after getting blown out by UConn at home, which was really, really ugly. Kentucky did make you work for it, but as Don says, any win in late February, March is good. There's no such thing as an ugly win. I agree with that. I thought at the end of the game, you were able to press Kentucky and shut down their offense and do enough to win, which they'll need to do in the tournament. Another pleasing aspect for South Carolina was Tessa Johnson had a good game. Like, she was due for one, and it's good. All their players that you've had concerns about, Fagan, Kitts, Raven Johnson, and Fulwiley, have all bounced back. And if you're a South Carolina fan, you're just hoping that at least in every game you play, you have enough players that fire and have a good day. Number 3 is you. Back to Sport, UConn Homer guy. We beat your team on their home court. The only reason we lost to Notre Dame was because Kennedy Smith was out with her knee injury. Nobody's taking us down as we have Kennedy Smith, Juju, and Kiki Ariafa, not to mention to throw in a bit of Rhea Marshall and Akinwafu. We got bigs galore. Nobody's taking us down. Now, the USC haters will say, hey, Juju has a bad night, then USC's having a bad night as well. But I'm sure USC fan would say, hey, Juju's the best player bar none in the country, and she's going to own the tournament. UConn, yes. UConn Homer alert. Yes, yes. I'll hear all the comments. Here's the thing. When UConn plays really, really well, they remind me of the Spurs when they took down LeBron in that second year when they came back together. They just play beautiful, beautiful basketball. They move the ball, they're hitting their shots, and it's a beautiful thing. When they're not playing well, then they look like a soft Big East team, and you wonder if they can compete. I know South Carolina is a bit watered down without Watkins, but it's hard to get that butt kicking out of my mind. So UConn, you are number 4, and number 5 is Notre Dame. Now, I am sure Notre Dame fan is irritated with me saying, how dare I pick Notre Dame behind UConn, seeing that Notre Dame beat UConn head-to-head, which is fair, but Notre Dame is not finishing real strong, obviously. The loss to NC State at NC State was understandable, but the loss to Florida State at home on senior night was really unforgivable. And Niele Ivey is not in Corey Close territory, but so far in her 4 years at Notre Dame, she has not been able to make it past the Sweet 16. The question is, will she be able to get this team, who seems like they have Final Four talent, to the Final Four? If you are a Notre Dame fan, you are coming at Back to Sports and saying, what are you talking about? She rebuilt the program when it was down after Muffet McGraw. Talent is there, and if you have Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo, who is slumping, but she will get her game back, and a Citron and a Westbelt who will only be getting better and better as she regains conditioning and form from her foot injury. Not to mention King and Carlin. This team has too much talent not to make the Final Four. Now, number 6, I have LSU. And really, I could lay into LSU much like I did to Notre Dame, but I really don't see their woes as concerning as Notre Dame, because Kim Mulkey has done it before, and, I don't like that cliche, but I think LSU knows what they are. They're a gritty, tough team. The loss to Alabama on the road was a tough one. You get those in the SEC. The loss today to Ole Miss, not really a concern, as Kim Mulkey was pretty much treating this like an exhibition game, if you like. She's pulled Flau'jae Johnson out to allow her shin splints to settle. She really doesn't care about the SEC tournament. She really just wants her team ready to go for the big tournament, and I suspect Mulkey will have her team ready to go. They know what they are, which is the big three that can score and rebound well. They do sometimes have concerns on defense. In addition, the ongoing search for a consistent point guard continues. I've said it before, but Kim Mulkey reminds me of Steve Spurrier and how he hated his quarterbacks and throwing the hat on the sideline. That's much the way Kim Mulkey feels about her point guards. Number 8 is NC State. You stay where you are. Congratulations to you. You get a piece of the ACC regular conference championship, thanks to Notre Dame's late season collapse, so therefore you get to hold on to your number 8 seed. Now, I left off number 7 intentionally. That is UCLA. Yes, I have dropped them from 1 to 7 because in the game versus USC, very close post-game press conference after the loss to USC, as my plan is to take a closer look at that tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching. As always, your thoughts, your poison, it's all welcome. Have a great day.